Hey y'all, what is up everybody? What's up YouTube? Spark Mark, and I'm back to do a physical media review of these two movies. If you heard me talking about the sequel, yes. And I don't know if I mentioned it in this video, or maybe I did in the previous one of the review, that if anybody did not know this on IMDb, that the director of Dead Alive in the mid-90s, and then he went on to do Lord of the Rings and King Kong 2005, Peter Jackson, yes. Did you know that he was going to direct this sequel? That I didn't even know until I looked it up years ago. And then the actor who plays the goofy guy, Will Benson, that was originally going to be played by the E.T. and Psycho 4 actor Henry Thomas, who played Elliot and the young Norman Bates in those two movies, was going to be playing the dorky, goofy guy, Will Benson. Like, wow, really? He was going to play that character? I didn't know until I looked it up as well. And also, there was a original opening scene in that movie. Ultimately, it is not in these formats on the previous BluRay release or the overseas from the UK edition, not even in the 88 Films so-called trilogy box set that only had the first movie and the sequel, and that so-called bad third movie, the 88 Films, which has the new interviews with the actor Muse Watson, and then the first two movies has interviews with Muse Watson, who played the villain, and then the director Jim Gillespie. And then in this one, in the 88 Films, you only have interviews with the actor who played the villain, and it's on this 4K collection. This 4K disc. And in the BluRay, you have the previous special feature and the music video that was performed by the actress Jennifer Love Hewitt, and a theatrical trailer. That's all you're going to get, folks, on this one as well. This one is like in the BluRay. So yeah, there was an original opening that even though it did promote it when the film was going to be released, but ultimately it's not anywhere in social media, and it's not in the previous releases of the film, of the sequel film, that originally there was going to be a confession or so at church. Julie is like bowing down to the priest, and then suddenly he says the line, "I know what you did," and then she looks up and it's the villain. And ultimately, it's not in anywhere, really. And there was also in the teaser trailer, which you can see it, where she's talking to the psychiatrist, talking about the events that occurred 1 year, and then we see the villain walking down the hallway. You see his boots, you see his wardrobe look, the hook, scrolling, and then when the psychiatrist tells her there is no man with a hook, she says that line, and then the villain bursts through the mirror. Through the mirror. Really? Wow, that was also going to be in the opening of the sequel, before we got the opening that we now know in the previous formats, that it's in the church, but it's not the one I told you, but it's different. And with that, let's take a quick look on IMDb very quick. Alrighty. So I did kind of mention this or not, that Freddie Prinze, due to negative critical reception upon the release of the film, Freddie Prinze Jr. admits that he hasn't seen the film because of its reputation, and as of a year ago in the spring of 2024, he recently watched the film for the first time for his horror podcasts, and saying that it was pretty scary, and admitted he found the movie to be entertaining. So kudos for that. And of course, Julie James, played by the wonderfully Jennifer Love Hewitt, in a horror to appear in a horror film. Let's see the film. And she not wishing to be typecast as a scream queen, before eventually reprising her role in the third installment in 2025. So yeah, I'll say that for another day. Here is that reason we never got Kevin Williamson coming back as the writer, because he was busy working on other projects, writing as well, and he couldn't come back to do the sequel. So that was a very bummer. Here is the trailer that I mentioned to you. You see that, folks? That's the teaser trailer, which I'll leave you the link in the description box down below. You can read it and pause it and read it carefully, folks. Really? That the character of Carla Wilson was going to be a white woman? Yeah, right. Here is this trailer that was one of the two distinct trailers. One is with the therapist that I mentioned to you. Here is the other teaser trailer. Let me get my trusty pointer. The other teaser trailer features Julie visiting a confession booth at the church, in which the scene reveals to be Ben Willis in the place of a priest saying, "I still know," which causes Julie to scream. The church scene in the trailer was released before the therapist's office version was released. The teaser trailer that I mentioned has been lost. A search on YouTube shows no posting of this version. So yeah, this sequence right here, not the confession booth, but the church scene and the priest revealing to be the villain says the word "I still know," which causes Julie to scream. That was where we were supposed. That's one of the early promos before the therapist office version trailer was shown. But ultimately, that this version right here was lost, never to be seen or heard from again. So we thought, So let's get back to the formats, like now. Hold on. So yeah, just pause this and some of these and read it, or go on IMDb. Alright, before I show you more details on this, here is the Blu-ray. Ultimately, I never bought it because it had the same special features as the DVD. Nothing unique, nothing good about it. It came out around the time when I was done with high school. So yeah, so for audio, it has 3.5 on video, actually. Sorry if I said audio. For video is 3.5, and then audio is 3.8, and extras is about 2.1. Calling this a mediocre Blu-ray release that has solid audio and video. So yeah, clear. Ultimately, I never bought it. So yeah, and here's the 4K we're going to be looking at as well, and it has a solid release. Hold on, let me just get rid of this pissed off thing. So for 4K is 4.5, 2K, which will be the Blu-ray, which is about 3.8, audio 4.5, extra 3.2, and they're all region free. So yeah, this is what you're getting, folks. So let's take a quick look at the formats. So yeah, back to the formats, y'all. So here I got this around the time with the first movie. I got this on my 17th birthday. My 17th birthday. This was when I was a junior, then heading to senior, and yeah. So yeah, here's the line. Read that carefully. Here are the features and details. And of course, yeah, it's like the artwork. Ultimately, I couldn't get the one that comes like the artwork. Not like this one. This is like a slipcover, which they did a fantastic job. And I'll leave you the link in the description box of my buddy at Mid-Level Media. Here's what I should have gotten. Well, too bad my aunt found this at Big Lots. at Big Lots back when I was in high school, right before my birthday. So yeah, ultimately, I don't get what's up with these studios, really. That they release variation artworks for a sequel. Same thing with the first movie. Very big mystery. I'm not surprised. And it felt like, who was the distributor for this company, if I'm not mistaken? That did this release, Columbia Pictures, but I highly doubt that the studio that released this as well, Lionsgate, I highly doubt they're not involved in the Screen Factory label. I wouldn't be surprised if the Screen Factory did this artwork. And yeah, since it came out in 2023 for the release of the sequel's 25th anniversary. Same thing like they did in 2022 for the first movie's 25th anniversary. It got about a dozen Blu-ray release. Well, let's see. First it was Sony. That release was perfect. The Blu-ray release. The sequel was alright. Sure. I never double dipped because apparently the bare bones edition of the DVD only had an audio commentary with the editor Tim Merkovich and Jim Gillespie. That was it in a theatrical trailer. And apparently I couldn't tell if the double pack that my buddy Review King and B Mike Brown has came with those certain special features. But in the Blu-ray came with only the Now I Know What You Did Last Summer featurette and then the music video. And that was it. And the featurette is not even featured in either releases, so I don't know if there was an exclusive edition. So yeah. So it came, I'll show you the DVD first, and then I'll show you the Blu-ray and the 4K. Here it is, wonderfully. And same thing in the back. So yeah. That's what you're going to be getting. Audio commentary with director Danny Cannon, which was not in the DVD edition of this movie. So yeah. So you finally got Danny Cannon, the director, the guy that did a English movie first, and then he did Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, and since then he swore he would never work with an A-lister ever again, like Stallone. And that was too colorfully and didn't fit well with the tone of the comics. That was what my buddy Good Bad Flick said while exploring Dredd, which led to the 2012 film. That version I like. I didn't like Judge Dredd, but I like Sylvester Stallone, but I'm not big on that 1995 film. So here we go. Ooh, sorry for that, folks. So yeah. So here is the Blu-ray version. That's from the 2009 Blu-ray. I don't know if the transfers are the same, but they're upgraded it, so this is upgraded as well. And here is the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, and they kept the artwork from the slipcover. Look at that, folks. And this artwork right here is from the 2009 Blu-ray release, same with the DVD release. So how coincidental is that, folks? You get the best of new artworks in here. But for the sleeves, they kept the poster. Thumbs up on that. So yeah, let's take a look at the DVD first, and then these two discs. Sorry for that, folks. That was a little bit blurry. And of course, missing the intro for the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That was the logo for TriStar, by the way, with Columbia Pictures. So here is the menu for it, and it's on the other DVD edition with a different artwork. That was kind of the same as the DVD from the other artwork cover edition. So yeah, that's the one you just saw was play movie, language and audio setup. Let's take a look at that. Very rad and scary indeed. Okay, back to main menu. You got your subtitles, only in English. Main menu. I'll get to that in a moment. Here we have the scene selection. right, and now we have special features. So yeah, let me just show you this very quickly. Hold on, folks. Okay. Okay, how do you press it? Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on, folks. So the special feature is about 5 minutes and 40 seconds in length. Interview with the cast and crew. So yeah, the featurette is, I'm sorry for that, folks, but I had to pause it for a moment to avoiding copyright infringement. So the making of featurette, which is about 5 minutes and 40 seconds in length, interview with Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Brandy Norwood, Mekhi Phifer, and Matthew Settle playing the role of Will Benson. Producer Eric Feige is back. The other producers involved in the first movie are back. Neil H. Moretz is back. Stokely Shufrin, if I said her name right. If I butchered it again, she's back too. Eric Feige is back. And interview with director, English filmmaker named Danny Cannon is interviewed. And who else? Oh yeah, William S. Beasley, if I said his name right, who was the production manager on the first movie. He came back to do the sequel as well. And where they shot the film, it was supposed to be originally in the Bahamas. But apparently they had difficulty trying to find a location suitable for the sequel. So they shot it at a resort that was abandoned. And it's in the also He Still Knows What You Did interview with Muse Watson, which I'll get to that in a moment. They shot it in the state of... They shot it in the west coast of Mexico in the state of Jalisco. And they had a difficulty finding a location to suit the film. And the director said that it was mysteriously the place was abandoned and it was left to ruin for 4 years because of an earthquake damage that occurred there in '94. And it was suitable, and voila, there it is. And that's the Tower Bay Island they had envisioned it for the movie. And then realizing that the villain, their unfaithful friend, is back to make sure that the fun is stopped, thinking that everything's going fine. Vacationing, and then suddenly it goes into a nightmare mode. And the producer, Mr. Feige, says as soon as everything gets from good, bad, and worse, the villain is back with a vengeance, and he's not going to let anyone off of his little big plan. And I wonder what the plan is. Oh, wow, a big plan, a fiasco. Wow. So yeah, it's a very thrill, and Matthew Settle calls the sequel a roller coaster thrill ride. That's what it is. And the film is insane. The villain knows where they are. And if you saw me talking about this in the movie, he knows where they're at. I mean, every time they're being chased, he knows the location because he used to work there before he became a serial killer. Because he was a worker there. He used to work at that hotel. And I said in the movie review about it. And the director says, don't get scared, deal with it. That's what these characters are. So yeah. And that's all you have, and the effects for the rain and for everything, it's in the feature. You're just gonna have to. I'll leave you the link in the description box down below for the making of featurettes. Then you have the theatrical trailers, and I'll leave you that in the description box for the teaser one, not the one that I mentioned that you won't be able to see it anymore. And then you have the music video by Jennifer Love Hewitt, How Do I Deal? You hear her singing and you see scenes from the movie. Amazing. So yeah, that's all, folks, for the DVD menu. So yeah, that's all you're getting, folks. On to the next format, the Blu-ray, like now. Sorry to do that, folks, but this is technically the same as the other Blu-ray release from the 2009 edition. So here it is. So yeah, to turn that off, folks. Okay, let's look at the language. Alright, similar to the Blu-ray release that came out the year prior. So yeah, what you have here are your menus. You can add bookmark, delete bookmark, your choice of anything. And here's more and more and more. Graveyard scene, chasing scene, okay, the worst vacation, final confrontation, and then ending. Okay, here you have the making featurette, which you already know what it is. Oh shoot, not again. Sorry for that, folks. I'm trying to do my best to like give you the best quality. Okay, here we go. Huh. Sorry for the best blurrishness. Huh. So that's the making of featurette, music, and the trailer, and then you have previews, and back to where you were. And also here is BD Live, which is, please confirm your player is connected to the internet. Yeah, sure. So yeah, that's all, folks, on the Blu-ray. And that was quick and fast. Also, on to, well, let's see a comparison of the picture quality, shall we? But I'm gonna do it in whatchamacallit, in how do you put this? Picture form, like I did on the last one. So let's go. Alrighty, so this one is the 4K, which you just saw a photo of. And okay, let's take a look at the setups. Similar to the one we got for the first movie. We got your setup, you got your scenes, you can jump scene selections, certain sequences of the film. And if you're seeing this, this means I have a different TV. Maybe I should brighten it up on my PlayStation 5, but what the heck. Okie dokie. And now we have the extras, which you have an interview with actor Muse Watson. He still knows what you did. An interview with Muse Watson, which is about 12 minutes, 12-minute feature in length, which is of course poured from the previous edition that we got in 2020 for the 88 Films box set, with the first movie and the sequel right here, and that stupid so-called third movie, which technically, folks, it's not canon to that movie. It ain't canon to the two movies. Let's be clear. All right. So, anyways, Mr. Watson talks about how he got involved with the how he been labeled as a horror icon, how does he feel being labeled as a horror icon, and it's a thrill and it's pleasure and everything. And then, by golly, they started talking. When he first heard about the sequel, he was in Cape Town, South Africa, shooting a movie from Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money. And there were some going over the trades, or some whispers around, even before, of course, social medias and things got into place. But anyways, he got a call from his agent or somebody saying they're going to do another one. And wow. And he was about wrapping up in the sequel. I mean, from Dusk Till Dawn 2, and then after that he went to go do the sequel, I Still Know. And when it comes to the amount of gore, that is producers' research of what the market is, or the target demographic audience is, how the film should be. And the amount of gore didn't affect nothing on his character, because he played the villain. He went in and he got his job done. Since Mr. Watson wasn't a huge horror fan, or a dedicated horror fan, he didn't know all the horror icons. And he talks about Jeff Jeffrey Combs, who plays Mr. Brooks, the hotel manager in the sequel, and that he thought he's one of the nicest, sweetest guys he ever met. Great fellow. They became good friends. And while they were shooting on location in Mexico, which is in the state of Jalisco, he had a little bit of a heart problem, but in other words, inflammation in his heart because of the airs in Mexico, and they had to take him to the hospital in Mexico City very quickly. And it wasn't about a few hours later when Mr. Watson was there, he mangled his knee pretty badly, and they had to take him to the hospital in Mexico City as well. And they had to have armed guards in the limo, and there were guards in the gateway to Mexico City because the checkpoints, and because they were entering no man's land. And the guy with a AK-47 assault rifle pushed into his knee, and he thought that he would react, and he assumed that Mr. Watson was faking his knee injury. No, they made it through the gate, went to the hospital, and they told Mr. Watson that Jeffrey was there. Jeffrey was there with his heart problem, his inflammation in his heart. Oh God! And hey, when I get this patched up, can I go up and see him? And they said, sure. They went up, and he's just lying in his hospital bed, and Mr. Watson tells him, Jeffrey, you gotta get up, man. He's a great guy. And also, shooting in Mexico was a hoot for him. There were two resorts in that point. The resort that they were shooting in the film, they were shooting the film in the resort that you saw, that it was closed down due to earthquake damage. So they filmed all that in that hotel that got damaged. And there was a second resort about 10 miles away where they were staying. Instead of trailers, they got suites because they rented the whole hotel for the cast. So yeah, kudos for that. Nothing is better than having a massage after you kill a few people with a hook, but there's nothing good but a massage. It just takes care of things. And they were shooting pretty heavy water on the characters. And lucky enough, his character, the villain, Mr. Watson was lucky because he wore a trench coat throughout the shoot. And then also the scene in the graveyard, where Jennifer Love shoots him. They were shooting that all night. And he saw one of the people from the production at a Kroger store, the grocery store, if you will, in Mexico. And he laughed at him. He says, look at this. And says, what is that? That's your grave dirt. You're going to be falling into is chocolate cookies. Crumble. It's going to look like dirt. Because they don't want actual dirt to hit on him in his face. And while he was down below, he kept thinking to himself how he's going to keep himself from eating that dirt. Chocolate cookies crumbled look like dirt. Oh, wow, man. Oh, my God. And the next one was that, and also he wore contact lenses when the villain gets shot in the final act scene of the film. He talks about that they were having problems with the people from the makeup department and the director, that he cannot wear the contact lenses when the blast of the weapon, the blast of the gunshot, hits the villain and then falls into the grave. And they were arguing this and that. Finally, they made a decision to take the contact lenses off and then proceed shooting that sequence. And that was it. Yeah, so, yeah, the makeup department didn't want Mr. Watson to wear that contact lenses when he fell into the grave or the blast of the gunshot. So that's what happened. And then after that, when everything was done, Mr. Watson decided to pull a prank on Jennifer, and talking about pulling a prank on Jennifer. And they were shooting at the resort they were staying. How do you put this word? They were staying at the resort where they were staying, not the resort they were shooting in. And he pulled something in her laptop, and it spread the word. I know what you did last summer. Put her in bed in the fog. in written words, and she screamed very, very loudly. And he went up the stairs and confirmed it was all a prank. And she's screaming, "Who did this?" And said, "Oh God, this is not a prank anymore." Because Mr. Watson had no idea that Jennifer had a obsessed fan or a stalker stalking her or anything like that. He didn't know. So he told her that sorry, that it was just a joke. It was a prank. And tells Mr. Watson, "I'm gonna get you." And then after they shot the grave sequence, and that was until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, he goes into a suite, and there were these large bugs that looked like beetles, the size of a golf ball or so. I don't know how do you put the word, approximately about this big. There's like dozens of them in his suites, running all over the bed and on the floor. And tell you one thing, you can only flush one at a time. Hoo. And it took him like 45 minutes or so, or an hour, to clean his place up so he can go to bed. Next morning, he goes down to the pool area, and Jennifer is on the float on the pool and says, "Love, did you get me back last night?" She's in the pool, she's in the floater in the pool, and she says, "Mm-hmm." So yeah, they did some jokes with each other though, but they all got along great. And he did went to the premiere of the second film with the cast, with the stars of the film. And of course, over the years, he talked about tidal wave of idiots. People say the second one is better than the first one, and social media and everything. And he said, a tidal wave of idiots. Wow. So yeah, folks. And to this day, people still ask him to be intimidated by his appearance when he asks him, be the villain. And that's it. And it's just a pleasure to work with young talents who have gone on to do well in their careers and among other things. So yeah, folks, that is all. That's 12 minutes worth of features and details. But no new interview with director Danny Cannon, which I'm very kind of bummed out, you know? I mean, did they even bother to ask Mr. Cannon about his opinion on the sequel? How did it come up with the ideas? How did that go? Nothing like that? Like, seriously? They just went ahead and didn't give a damn? So, yeah. Alrighty, folks. And now I'm going to show you the quality of only the picture quality. I can risk showing the audio because I don't want to get flagged. So, picture quality it is. Let's go. Alrighty, folks. So, that was a pretty big in-depth of both releases. You only saw the DVD menu and the features, but I didn't want to show the whole thing because I don't want to get copyrighted flags and anything. And I showed you the big, how you call it, accoutrements. That's what it is, accoutrements on this release as well. So yeah. And also the TV that you were seeing from the previous one as well is that I have a BOS LG TV, I believe, with Boss Audio, BOSE. So it's a BOSE LG TV, I think. And also advise the quality on these two discs, on the DVD, on the Blu-ray and the 4K. It's better that way you watch this movie in a dark room or at night, because do not bother watch this movie with the lights on because of the quality and everything. Even as my buddy playing CHH said about Friday the 13th 2009 on 4K, you're better watching it with the lights off. So I had to take his advice on that as well. So yeah, including the special features of things that I didn't know or didn't know, Heck, I got intrigued with this movie, and I still love it to this very day. Pretty soon I'm going to be reviewing the third installment that came out recently this year, and though I got some mixes and things you didn't see coming, but I can't wait for the next one. Let's see how it goes down with our two heroines doing their thing. Sorry if I kind of spoiled that part. Never mind that. So, yeah, I can't wait. And if any of you young BUCKSs haven't seen this film, dudes and dudettes, please go get yourself a copy or stream it before buying it. That's what I do, folks, which I have been doing for the last couple years. Ever since then, I had to stream it online or on Netflix or Hulu to see is it worth purchasing or worth putting in your collection. So yeah, that's what I do, folks. And also, what do you guys think of the sequel? Amazing, but could have done more with it. Don't do less. So yeah. Alright, before signing off, let's give a shout out to that thing of ours, TCF, to the physical media collectors, the watch collectors, toy collectors, autograph collectors, and all you collectors out there. Shouts to you all, cats and dogs. Especially let's give a shout out to my subscribers. You know who you all are. Shouts to you all, cats and dogs. And let me know in the comments section what you guys think of this sequel. Any of you watched it when you were a kid or started watching it? Did anybody see the first movie before the sequel? Let me know in the comments. And what do you guys think of the soundtracks? Let me know as well. Anything else more? If you like content like this or any other content on this channel, please click the bottom of the subscribe button to be notified of all new uploads. Like the videos, always appreciate thumbs ups. Have any opinion related to the content or the year of the content? Comments down below. That's where I want to know, folks. Comments down below. And also in the YouTube post, I often post I post videos at a certain time. Tell you the time, new video at this time. Check it out. Always put a reminder to make sure that you're notified once the video is premiered. And also, if I'm posting anything, like say I'm taking a day off or a week off, vacation, whatever I'm posting, and especially like say pre-order items or charity things in the YouTube post community, check it out as well. So yeah, man, oh man, it's crazy. So y'all, this is Sparky Marky Mark signing off. Y'all take care, God bless you, hear you, and see you on the next vid. Enjoy Tuesday, y'all, and later. Gotta go.